What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Triple Threat Talk. My name is Connor Ryan.
I'm Jonah Newberger, and welcome back to another week.
Let's go. We are so back. 3 games. I mean, we were talking about it pregame, or we were talking about it even before we hit record. I thought it was only 2. Forgot that game 2 was on Sunday.
Yeah, kind of a snooze game, but
very much. Sorry, I was just receiving a text, but it doesn't matter. Game 2, Game 3, Game 4, NBA Finals. Game 3 and 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals has happened. NFL news is ramping up more and more every day.
Yeah.
Like
FIFA Club World Cup starts
FIFA
this
Club
weekend.
World Cup. Red Sox are on a heater.
Dude, walk off against the Yankees. Love to see that.
Shout out my boy Peter Turro. Hunter Dobbins saved the Red Sox rotation. If you know, you know. But it's like, it very much is like the dead point of sports in the year. Like, there's no question about it, because it's like, once Stanley Cup and NBA playoffs will wrap up, it's like, we don't have a legit, other than the Club World Cup for soccer. Yeah. Which I know not everybody is a big football.
Yeah, and it only happens every couple of years, so it's not like it's an every summer type of thing. So yeah, this is definitely the dead point of the year for sports. You know, just MLB going on, and not the biggest baseball fan, but I might have to start watching a little bit more.
And I understand, not everybody's going to be a baseball fan.
Yeah, I don't have. There's so many games. Yeah, it's hard to watch every single game.
But I think that's kind of like a benefit to it is you could miss 10 games, and it's like, you didn't miss that much.
Yeah.
So
especially, being in Denver, you missed 10 games. They probably lost all 10 games.
Yeah.
Shout out the Rockies for being terrible.
Shout out the Rockies, man. I do feel bad for the Rockies because it's like and I know. Coors Field is so cool.
Coors Field, it's a nice stadium. The management, the ownership, awful. Yeah, they won a game though, I think on Friday night.
They won a series.
They won their first
last
series.
Week. I think they swept.
They beat the Marlins.
Yeah.
For the first series win in over a year, and then they beat the San Francisco Giants on Friday night or Thursday night, I think it was. Kind of irrelevant. They'll win one every 15 games, and the city goes crazy.
Hey,
not actually. No one cares about the Rockies here, but
hey, at least it happens out that you also have a very good basketball and a very good hockey team.
Yeah, football's on the rise too.
Football's on the rise. Bo Nix, MVP next this year.
No,
I'm kidding.
Drake May,
exactly.
The better
Kyle Williams, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Sorry, Travion Henderson, Offensive Rookie of the Year. But that doesn't matter. What does matter is the NBA Finals right now.
Yes.
We'll get to the more 2 important games in a moment, but we'll run through Game 2. You and I both predicted the Thunder.
Yeah, we thought the Thunder would come out and, they dominated the whole game, and it kind of showed that the whole game. We kind of knew, after losing on a heartbreaker Game 1, you kind of knew the Thunder were going to come out Game 2 and just, they were going to win that game. It was kind of
I think a lot of it was just the aspect of I'll bring it up when we get to Game 4 in a little bit. It was just I can't see Indiana being up 2-0 in the series. And it was just the gut feeling of the Thunder are going to bring it. It's they're going to make the adjustment that they're going to need to make. They're going to make the rotation changes that they're going to need to do. And people are going to contribute, and they're not going to have this pitiful shooting game again. And it worked out. And they ran away with Game 2 with a 16-point victory. And then everybody was, well, it's the Thunder series to lose now. Then Game 3 happens.
Yeah.
And arguably speaking, it's for the first quarter of that game, you're yep, it's the Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
And then lo and behold, TJ McConnell comes off the bench and becomes the energy plug that he's always been.
Mm-hmm.
Always picking up guy 94 feet. But something that I arguably one of the rarest plays in basketball, he does 3 times in the same night with the inbound steal.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And especially the one in the fourth quarter when it was especially in the fourth quarter when he had the opportunity for the layup and missed it, and then Nembhard gets the rebound, and then Caruso's all right, I'm gonna get it to Shea. I need to get we need to just kind of pick it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's all right, yeah, let me just throw this little bit of a skip pass. TJ McConnell's no, I got that.
No, I got that.
Puts it right
his
in,
hands up,
and ties the game.
That was crazy.
That's it's a 4-point swing that just
in a span of literally 5 seconds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Like, that was the difference, because it's like Indiana was down 8 going into the first quarter, or at the end of the first, and then they go into halftime up 12. A lot of that is the chances that he created. Tyrese played a lot better in this game.
Benedict Mathurin off the bench.
But Benedict Mathurin was the hero of this game.
U of A guy.
U of A guy.
U of A off the bench, man, with McConnell and Mathurin. Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Benedict so all I heard from Pacers Twitter last year and Pacers fans was, with the Celtics specifically after the sweep, was how much Benedict Mathurin was missed. And I'm very much in the field of, I agree. I think he is an incredibly talented player. Do I think it would have had that much of a difference last year? No. But
I agree. I agree completely.
Would it have made it more of a series? And are we looking at maybe the Pacers taking a couple of games against the Celtics last year? Absolutely. No questions asked.
No, I saw the same thing, and I was thinking, like, yes, he does make a difference, but he's not a Jason Tatum, level type of player. He's not a Jaylen Brown type of player. Like, yes, he would have made a little bit of difference, but the Celtics were on such a run and just so determined to win last year. I don't think anything was stopping the Celtics last year. But Mathurin, yes, he probably would have, they could have won a game or two, but I feel like overall the Celtics were just so unstoppable last year that it wouldn't have really mattered, but I don't know.
I agree that it wouldn't have mattered. I don't think, like, just with how the quality of teams that the Celtics were playing, like, sure, like, you can say, like, oh, like, it's like, no, they were legitimate good teams. Mm-hmm. And it's like, in reality, the Pacers' performance this year is actually helping the Celtics more and more throughout the year. Because it's like, people are going to look at this and go, wait, weren't the Thunder one of the greatest teams, like, considered, like, statistically one of the greatest teams of all time, and the Pacers brought them to 6, and the year before, with the entire same roster, the Celtics beat them in 4?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Pacers are solid.
Pacers are a legit team. So, but it's like, we can see what it would look like in terms of the difference he can make. And it's like, in every game a team has won in the series, it's been, there are going to be the 2 guys who are going to take over the game. For each team, it's Pascal and Tyrese, and then it's J-Dub and SGA.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, for every game, who is the third guy?
Yeah.
Game 4 last night, it was Alex Caruso. Game 3 was Benedict Mathurin. Game 2, I would probably say it was Caruso or maybe Aaron Wiggins. And then game 1, it was Obi.
Yeah.
And so, but game 3 doesn't happen without TJ McConnell and Benedict Mathurin.
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, I'd say the aggressiveness of Tyrese. Tyrese really did show, like, hey, like, this is what it looks like when I decide to go back to being myself as a basketball.
Yeah.
Not to the space of, hey, I can generate an offense. It's like, no, I am the offense. I am going to create at a level that you wish you could contain or comprehend.
Yeah.
And it was to the fullest effect. Now, what game 4 really taught me was, if you want to win against the Pacers, you have to either be at the right moments, be perfect, or you just have to catch them at their lowest.
Mm-hmm.
Game 3 was not that. Not at all. Like, if you're a Pacers fan and you go in and you're like 2-1, like realistically, the last time I felt that confidence with a team up 2-1 in the NBA Finals, do you want to know when it was?
Was it the Celtics against the Warriors?
You bet your ass it was. Yeah. And then game 4 happened.
Yeah.
And we knew. That was the moment.
Scott Foster reffing that game 4 as well?
I will look it up for you, Jonah. I will look that up for you.
Series extender.
He's a madman.
You saw he 22 fouls he called in the first half, 2 techs, 2 flagrants in just the first half alone.
I had a moment. By the way, wait, never mind. Do you know Jason Tatum led the playoffs in points and assists that season?
Whole playoffs?
Whole playoffs.
Wow, no one's talking about that.
No one's talking about that. Wow, that's also a pretty interesting stat.
I just feel like also the calls that they were calling last night were such little ticky-tack light fouls compared to what they've been calling in the first 3 games and just the whole playoffs alone, I'm like, okay, you're really gonna call that, in Game 4 of the finals? I don't get it. Like,
breaking news:
some of the
Scott Foster was not a referee for that game.
that would have been amazing.
It was James Keepers Jr., Kane Fitzgerald, and Eric Lewis. Let me see if
Eric Lewis
doesn't show their face. Anyway, I was watching the game with my friend Zach, who gave me this Ray Allen Seattle Supersonics jersey. Shout out Zarch, what a guy. And he was like, I joined this game 30 minutes late, and I've been looking at my phone for about the last 25 minutes. How the hell is there still 5 minutes left in the second quarter? And it really was just 2 fouls that I think should have just been considered hard playoff fouls. And Richard Jefferson agrees, but it's not like Richard Jefferson as an analyst really provides, or as a broadcaster, not an analyst, provides a lot of these same opinions with me. But no, I agreed with that.
Yeah.
I don't think they should have been flagrant fouls, especially the OB Toppin one. But game 4 was just like, it was just a battle.
I swear every time either whether it was an offensive or defensive possession for the Thunder, some player on the Thunder was on the ground. One way or another, someone was on the ground on every single play. I was like, really? It really gets under my skin. I cannot stand how the NBA has honestly gotten so soft in recent years. Compared to what it was. Like, SGA's getting tapped on the wrist and he's falling down. I'm like, dude, you're 6'6". Like, that's not going to knock you down. I feel like it's every time there's just someone on the ground, and it's just like, I don't know. I cannot stand it sometimes, and it really just sometimes I just can't watch it. I just can't.
I will say the Chet ones were pretty like tough. Like, like those ones made sense where it's like, if you roll your ankle, I don't know, like
I understand that.
I know what you mean, where it's like Aaron Nesmith has his hand on his shoulder just for half a second, and it's like,
and he's
I'm going to put my arm right here, and then it's going to cause basically looks like my arm is going to break, and I'm going to have to react like that.
Yeah,
and
it goes 20 feet back to half court. Like, there were some just bad calls, like the one. I mean, there was a couple missed ones, too. The one where SGA completely pushed off on the baseline, and then he traveled for that mid-range bucket. I was like, okay, missed call.
The one that Nesmith fell on? Yeah.
Yeah, and then, it was clearly extended the arm. If that was Jason Tatum, that would have been offensive every day of the week.
Yeah.
They had the one where, yes, like, you could call it a foul, you could also not call it, but I'm like, with a minute and a half left in the finals in a Game 4, you're calling that ticky-tack little hit on the arm, and it's just... There's so many why are you calling it like this in this magnitude of a game?
There was also some where I was shocked there wasn't a call, but only because of what was being called.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like there was one where SGA, it kind of looked like he got tripped a little bit and it led to a turnover. It was probably with like 3 or 4 minutes remaining or something. I can't even remember if the Pacers converted. But I was like, wow, I'm kind of shocked that's not a foul.
Yeah, it's like I understand, what they're calling, but like just call it the same. Like if you're gonna call it on one end, call on the other. Like if SGA's gonna get that call on offense, like when Halliburton's going to the rim and getting hammered up for a layup, call that. It's the same thing on the other end. So it's like, be fair to both teams. You know what I mean? It's just, it was just sometimes hard to watch. Like, okay, so he's getting all these ticky-tack fouls, and you see like Nembhard or Halliburton getting hammered when they're going to the rim, and there's not a call. I'm like, well, it's the same thing on the other end. But I mean, SGA 10 for 10 on free throws, 35 points, 0 assists though, 0. Like, yes, I understand he's a scorer, but I'm like, how do you have 0 assists? That's kind of crazy to me.
There are two things I pulled away from that point of the no assists. It was his first game all year. It was his first game all year with 0 assists. 1.
Yeah.
2, he really and I think SGA is a very talented player. I think he's top 5 player in the league, no doubt about it. But he does have to what people think the Celtics are is what OKC actually is. To what people think Jason Tatum doesn't have to do, SGA doesn't have to do. SGA is a very talented defender. He is easily, consistently, the 4th or 5th best defender on that floor for the Thunder. Cason Wallace, I would take over him as a defender. I would take Alex Caruso over him as a defender. I'd take Lou Dort, Chet Holmgren, and J-Dub over him. He doesn't have to. He basically can just get to his spot that he needs to, and that's all he has to worry about.
Yeah.
Because it's like, he doesn't like to push in transition unless he steals the ball. And this is very much sounding like SGA hate, which like you can say that, but it's also just like it's the truth. 90% of his energy can be exerted into offense because of the team around him. It's like, yeah, he looks like a generational offensive player because did you watch Alex Caruso in the regular season? I'm glad he's playing awesome now, but did you watch? It wasn't good. Cason Wallace wasn't consistent. Joe and Aaron Wiggins were getting constant touches. So yeah, their offense isn't going to be absurd, but do you want to know what it is? When you have a guy who's very good at mid ranges, be able to take the 20 to 30 shots that he's going to take every night.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Like, if you're shooting 50% and you're taking 30 shots and you make 15 of them, you're going to be averaging 30. No questions asked. I don't have an issue with that. But what I have an issue with is people trying to state that, yeah, stats is the reason why somebody's better. It's not. It's the same reason why I have Tim Duncan where I have Tim Duncan in my all-time rankings. Because somebody gave up something to allow a teammate to have a better position. Genuine question. And I love Kevin Garnett to death. Do you think Kevin Garnett works with Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili as well as Tim Duncan does? No. Because that's just who the guy Tim Duncan is. SGA is in a very fortunate position to where there is so much defense around him that can create offense that he can be the offense.
Yeah.
And I think that's what allows it to have this situation. Is he converting at an absolute 50% shooting? I'm not going to deny that's very good shooting.
Yeah.
But it's also when you're given opportunities compared more to others. Tyrese Haliburton took a literal third in terms of total free throws compared to SGA in last night's game.
Well, did you see those were his first free throws of the entire
series? I'm aware.
Series?
Oh, I'm aware. And that's
crazy.
My next stat.
Yeah.
SGA took 7 more free throws in last night's game than Tyrese Haliburton has taken in the entire series. Now, that's not me trying to say like Tyrese Haliburton hasn't been driving or is deserving of all these foul calls. But
yeah,
it is the aspect of, hey, look at this guy and how this guy is generating wins. He has to do a lot more. He has to and there are times where it's like the Pacers are moving the ball just for the sake of moving the ball. It's not going to actually generate anything, but it's also a lot more reliant on him. SGA can take meander on down after inbounding a ball, kind of get with the Andrew Nembhard matchup, and which, by the way, he has been doing incredible against SGA. But then also it's just what are you going to... Andrew Nembhard's 6'2". SGA's 6'6". What are you going to do? You can put the Neesmith on him. You can put the size. Well, he's going to go by him. Well, you want the speed. All right, he's just going to get to the elbow, and then he's just going to turn around and post up. It's it's boring, but it's effective. I hate it, but it works. Is he better all time than a lot of people? God, no. Steve Nash has 2 MVPs. Do I hear Steve Nash is top 5 all time in point guard talk? No.
Yeah.
Okay. MVP, awesome award. No questions asked. No doubt about it. But it's are we really going to, are people really moved by a Joel Embiid MVP season? He was great. Nobody's denying that.
Yeah.
But what I have an issue with is the people who are I literally just saw a tweet before coming on here. It was it went MJ, then it went Kobe, and now it's Shea. Yeah, you can start putting your names in those two conversations, in those two specifically, when you pass D Wade.
Yeah.
And when you pass James Harden. Which you haven't done either. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Okay. You're not a top 5 point guard of all time right now. And you're not a top 4 or 5 shooting guard right now. So let's finish a career, and then we'll start talking about where he is all time. Because will he be in that conversation? Absolutely. Why? Because he's probably going to rattle off 4 or 5 more 30-point seasons. And then we're going to be that's an all-time great scorer. Nobody's going to have a problem with that.
It's when but kind of going off of that, with his 30-point game or 30, whatever season, like you said, someone else has to give up, something for SGA to be able to do that. Like you said, SGA doesn't really defend, but he'll score all the time. Okay, so it's like when you said like stats, obviously stats, you see the difference in the stats, for someone who doesn't have to defend and just scores a ton like SGA. So kind of going off your point that you made. So a guy like Jokic, he does everything for his team and still has similar stats. So I'm like, okay, he's not really giving up anything for anyone, and no one's really giving up anything for him, and he's still being that productive.
In fact, arguably, he is giving up stuff because of the creation he provides.
But it's crazy. Yes, he'll give up some shots, but he's still putting up 30 a game. He's still
for sure. He's still getting his
and 10 assists. It's crazy. Yeah, like SGA, 35, 4 rebounds, 0 assists. I feel like if this was a Jokic stat line, he'd have 35, but he'd also have like 15 rebounds and 8 to 12 assists. Like I don't know, but
I think a lot of it is just like almost like sometimes we want to put up blinders and being like, oh, like is that a Pro Mix water bottle?
Yeah, shout out.
Valid. Shout out Devin. Shout out Devin Levesque.
Shout out Pro Mix.
Sorry. Like, I think there are times where it's like we can put up a blinder and say, no, like this is a guy that I love we're talking about here. Like, and it very much is like the perspective of like, I'm a like you and I are both Celtics fans, and we were dreaming of the matchup of Celtics Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
And you are also a very big Nuggets fan and the connection of Jokic. So it's like people can come at us and say like, oh, this is hate. It's like, if you want to approach it like that, sure. But it's also the aspect of like kind of reality. Is he going to go down as a generational scorer? Yes. I don't have an issue with that. What I have an issue with is everybody like putting him in these conversations that we're just not ready to put him in yet. Like, I have an issue. Like, I'm very much in the perspective of like, I think Jason Tatum will go down as a all-time great, but with that is just going to take time.
Yeah.
Does he have a resume already? Yes. Now let's just get the totals up. That's all we're doing. That's all we got to ask for.
Yeah.
Let's stop going, hey, this happened, we're here. We got to go, this happened, and then let's get this, and then build.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Barkley wasn't like, Barkley didn't win an MVP and go better. Duncan didn't win one and was go better than KG.
Yeah.
No. Just not. But I mean, really, like Game 3 was the highest of highs, and Game 4 is just like, dude, if you're a Pacers fan,
they had it in the fourth quarter. Dude, Thunder, I mean, they outscored them 31-17 in the fourth quarter.
Let me see, like, when it was, like, the moment
like,
in the fourth.
Indy still had a pretty, like, decent lead, but then they went on some dry spells, and they just couldn't score. Like, Thunder won, like, an 8-0 run, and then when they went on a 7-0 run, like, the Pacers, like, when I feel like the last 5 minutes of the game, the Pacers were not scoring like they were in Game 3. But,
the fact of the matter is this. The Pacers, in the last 4 minutes of the game, I'll even extend it to 4 minutes and 19 of the game, they scored 7 points. The Thunder scored 14. They were tied at this. They were tied at this point, and Tyrese had 2 shots at the line.
7 more points, and they won by 7.
Exactly.
And Mathurin's free throws at the end, I feel like really, when he missed those 3 straight free throws, that definitely had an effect.
I went on a little bit of
25 of 33 from free throw. That's a lot of missed free throws. No team really shot amazing. I mean, the Thunder were 3 of 16 from 3-point land that game.
They were bad.
Yeah.
Tyrese didn't shoot well from 3.
Mm-mm. I mean, Miles Turner 0 for 6.
I will get to hit my take with him later. And I basically, after the Mathurin stuff, I tweeted, you can't miss 2 free throws right there. That is what loses you the game.
For sure.
And then J-Dub looks like I thought he was going to lose his head when he went parallel with the ground.
That was crazy.
But then, thankfully, Benedict Mathurin's legs saved his head. So, shout out Benedict there. And then he goes to the line again for 2 free throws and then goes 1 for 2. If he made the other 3, they're down 1. It would have been. It would have.
And Indy's so good at pressuring the ball on a full court press. Like, they got 2 steals off of, at the very end there. Like, if it was a
108, 107.
If it was a 1 or 2 point game at that point, like, we're talking about a whole different outcome.
If it's a 1-point game,
just make your free throws. Free throws win and lose games.
Exactly. If you're in a 1-point game, you go, all right, we just can't let the ball get to Shea. We can double anybody else and foul. It's like if the ball ends up in Lou Dort's hand, tackle him.
Yeah.
Do that. And then it's now
the way Scott Foster's calling that would have been a flagrant. Maybe an ejection. You never know.
Yeah.
But I know what you're saying.
But it's like, so, and then I, like, after the game, I just tweeted, Benedict Mathurin won the Pacers game 3 and simultaneously lost them game 4. So, like, in terms of like the shift that can happen, it's like, this is what the NBA Finals is. You have to be there all 4, 5, 6, 7 games, however many they're going to be. You have to be present in every single one of them. And you can be present, but being present is incredibly valuable. And I'm honestly just going to get to my take of the week right now, because I know we need to continue this conversation, and I need your opinion on this.
All right, let's hear it.
It was so financially speaking, the Pacers have been one of the more safer teams for the last greater part of 2-3 decades. Never really been one team to spend a lot of money, go into a luxury tax, and really, as owners, they've been making more money than losing, which is good, fair for them, absolutely. And they've had the team to where it works.
Yeah,
they have everybody on contract basically through the next 2-3 seasons, so they're kind of set. Like, Nesmith is there for 3 years, Halliburton's there for 5, and like the start of his contract is like, I think this year. Like, Siakam's there through 28, Halliburton's through 29. But there's one player who isn't, and he's up for an extension this offseason, and it's Miles Turner. It was reported that the Indiana Pacers would plan on going into the luxury tax for the first time in 20 to 25 years, and they would go into the luxury tax to make it an extension offer for Miles Turner. With what I have seen from Miles Turner in the finals so far, if the Indiana Pacers re-sign Miles Turner for a deal that puts him in the luxury tax and then obviously limits how they could spend that money in the future, I think they are putting a close onto their title window. Miles Turner is a very fantastic player.
Yeah.
He's a very fun player to watch, and he's very, very entertaining, and he's a guy you want to root for. No questions asked. But I mean, we can look just at the last couple of games. Game last night, 3 of 10 from the field, 0 of 6 from 3, 12 points, 5 fouls, 2 assists, 2 rebounds.
If you're getting 2 rebounds as a 6'11" center,
Miles Turner,
not very good.
Game 3, 9 points, 3 of 11 shooting, 1 of 4 from 3. 9 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 5 blocks. So he made up for it with the defense on the interior.
2 rebounds again?
He had 2 rebounds again.
So 2 rebounds in back-to-back games.
Yeah. The only difference tonight was he didn't have, instead of the 5 blocks, he had 5 fouls, in which in game 3 he had 2.
Yeah.
So when it comes to him, it's like, when you're looking at a luxury tax deal, when you're looking at an extension for Miles Turner, they know they're going to go in the luxury tax. They're currently not in the luxury tax with the current contract that he has. Jonah, just out of the curiosity of my heart, would you like to guess on how much money Miles Turner is making from the Indiana Pacers right now?
What was it? How many years was his last deal?
It was only a 2-year deal. It was signed.
Okay.
It was a 2-year deal, and he's an unrestricted free agent going into the offseason, but he plans on re-signing here, or re-signing with the Pacers.
And how many years has he been in the league? It's like,
this is
8
his
years?
10th year in the league. So he's beyond rookie extension. He's past veteran extension.
Okay.
He doesn't have anything in terms of like
accolade incentives or whatever.
Exactly. He doesn't have like an all NBA thing to where you can get like a really big deal. But like I'm also gonna
like his last. So he probably signed. See, I feel like it's gonna be low. I actually know it. I feel like this is gonna be crazy high or super low. I'm gonna go. He signed a 2-year, $23 million deal.
$23 million total, or $23 million per
total.
Miles Turner signed a 2-year, $40 million deal.
Oh wow! So
want to hear what he?
Okay.
Do you want to hear what the Pacers are reportedly hoping to make a payment for him this year?
Can I guess? So if they just pay him $2 million, I'm gonna guess a 4-year extension, 3 to 4 years, 118.
I don't know exactly, but apparently Miles Turner is seeking upwards of $30 million plus. So that'd be so like a 3-year, like 100. I think is probably what he's gonna go for.
4-year, 120.
4-year 120, 3-year 100, or like a 4-year like.
I don't think he's worth that.
And I agree. And I think a lot of
But
people...
my question is, though, what do you get to replace him as a center?
I think you go because as much as that was my take, the tough part is, and it very much was last night, I don't know.
I have a little take for you.
Because I think I know what you're
this
gonna
trade.
I think I know what you're gonna say, and I go ahead.
Would you trade, let's just say, Miles Turner and maybe a bench player for Porzingis and Hauser, or Porzingis and someone else? If Indy's looking for their new big man,
here's what go ahead.
No, and I just feel like Celtics, if they're looking to dump a little bit of money, I don't know what the deal would be if they'd have to do like a sign and trade.
I think it would have to be because he would be an unrestricted free agent.
Yeah. Do you think though that would you do that? I mean, I've always been a fan of Miles Turner, and I think a couple years ago, I think it was 2 years ago when he was up for free agency or an extension, I really wanted the Celtics to go out and get him, and they didn't. But I feel like after the way we've seen him play, I'm like, I don't really want him.
Perfect world, Kristaps Porzingis and Sam Hauser for Andrew Nembhard. Bro, I'm genuinely serious on that.
The Celtics would have no size.
It would give us space to re-sign Luke Cornett.
He's going to be our starting center?
Yes. Hear me out, dog. Hear me out. Imagine how fun of a lineup it would be. Andrew Nembhard, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Luke Cornett. Dude, that'd be like one of the top defensive lineups in the league.
Yeah, so you're assuming they're dumping Porzingis and Drew and Al retire.
Well, no, I also know that trade wouldn't happen.
I've been seeing speculation with trades. We can get into this a little bit later.
Did you see the Kings thing?
Yeah, Drew to the Kings. We get
Thank
DeRozan.
God. Thank God. I don't want DeMar DeRozan.
You don't want him?
No. Here's why. Here's why. I can't deal with double mid-range heavy guys. I can't deal with JB and DeMar on the same team. I know it'd only be for a year.
Yeah.
I know it'd only be for a year, but still.
Can they throw in Sabonis, too? Sabonis? No. Give us Sabonis and DeRozan. We'll give you Drew and Porzingis. Call it even. I'd do that.
At that point, give me Zach LaVine and
that's an interesting one.
Give me Zach LaVine and Sabonis, and then I can.
Kevin Durant ends up on the San Antonio Spurs. I know I'm kind of just firing off questions at you right now, but I've seen speculation of KD to the Spurs.
I don't know. I've seen speculations that we're hearing that we're going to be getting an announcement this week
for KD.
Yeah, like a trade will be done this week.
Can they even do that though?
What, a trade?
Right now? During the finals? Or they could like agree to terms and it wouldn't go through until...
I think so.
Do you think he ends up on the Spurs? This is gonna be like his fifth team, dude.
Thunder/Sonics, Warriors, Nets. So, yeah, would be. I like Spurs. I like the Spurs.
Not De'Aaron Fox, KD, and Wemby.
Okay, so day after the last game of the NBA Finals, each NBA team may begin negotiating with upcoming free agents who finished the just completed season on its roster. 25th and 26th will be the draft.
Ooh, that'll be interesting. That's coming up.
July 6th, each NBA team may begin signing free agents to contracts. So it doesn't say anything specifically on trades.
When does free agency start? Isn't that like July 1?
Well, so it's restricted
free agents, I think.
So yeah, restricted free agents is right after the NBA Finals is over, the next day. Unrestricted, you can begin negotiating on June 30th.
Okay.
And then it's California Summer League, and then it's Salt Lake City Summer League, and then it's...
There's two?
Yeah, it's basically like the mini showcases.
I thought Summer League was... Oh.
It's like the mini one.
In Vegas.
No, the primary is in Vegas. But
I got you. Interesting.
Knicks Sixers is the Abu Dhabi game.
Snooze fest.
The Melbourne series is the Pelicans versus NBL teams, and then the China games is Nets versus Suns. And then the Mexico City game is Pistons versus Mavericks. That's pretty cool. Start date next year will be in LA, and then in 2027 it will be in Phoenix.
I've always wanted to go to NBA All-Star.
I think it'd be pretty cool. I think it'd be pretty cool, but I also I don't know. I think they're also I kind of just like watching it on TV.
Yeah, I just think it'd be cool to experience at least once. I feel like they do all the cool pop-ups around the city.
Now something
fun to, watch the 3-point or the dunk contest would be cool.
Yeah, I'd be more excited to go to that than
the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a
Dude,
game...
I'd go to the celebrity game. Come on now.
I'd go to celebrity game. If I could choose a all-star event from any
what would you pick? Ooh,
any sporting event?
Oh, let's say of the major... Yeah, the major 4.
Home run derby.
Really? Yeah.
But I get to pick the crew. I get to pick, like, who is in it. Hypothetically. Or like I at least get to choose, like, I'm not like, next year I'm going to the home run derby. It's like, all right, like, I get to, like, choose the year,
the lineup,
like, see the lineup and everything and, like, stuff like that. So, like, if it's
That's
a good
insane.
lineup, home run derby's elite. If it's a good setup of home run derby, then it's also elite. But, like, slam dunk would be sick.
I wish I could have seen the 2016 NBA 3-point contest
with Curry and Clay, basically just.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I could have seen that entire All-Star weekend.
Yeah, that was probably the best All-Star weekend ever.
I think it's
Zach
arguably
Levine, Aaron Gordon going 50 for 50, just back and forth for an hour and a half.
It's the best one since, like, the early 2000s.
Easily. And the game, that was Kobe's final one. Okay. Kobe versus Bron. It was in Toronto.
While we're on it, speaking of the All-Star game, so it was announced, USA versus World for next year. What are your thoughts?
I don't like it.
I hate it.
I don't like it.
I hate it.
I think yes, there are a lot of international players,
but it's so top
great.
heavy.
The game is it is, and I feel like
you're
going to get down to, like, and I'm not saying some of these players don't deserve it, but you're going to see a guy like, maybe even like Jamal Murray or Dylan Brooks or players like that are going to make All-Star, whereas, like, I just liked it. They need to go back to conferences. Screw the draft. Give me East versus West. I don't like how Adam Silver's, he's been changing up so much stuff. It'll be interesting. Because, like, they're like, oh, we have all these international stars. I'm like, okay, you have Jokic, SGA, Embiid when he wants to be. You know what I mean?
Luka, SGA, Giannis, Joker, Wemby. Those are your 5, by far. Yeah. But then it's like, you go Şengün, Sabonis.
Are they all-star worthy, though? Like,
that's the point.
If it was just a normal, the 24 best players in the NBA, they probably don't crack that list. Jamal, Dylan Brooks are also I'm trying to think who else. Like, Rudy, are they going to put Rudy Gobert in the Giannis? We forgot about Giannis.
Okay. Are you ready? This is what... Yeah, it's wraps. This is what a possible USA versus World matchup would be. This is
I
what...
need, like, bench, though.
I got bench. I got you.
Okay,
don't worry.
Okay. All right. Hit me.
So, World first. Potential starters. This is, like, no injury. Like, this was just listed on June 5th, just how it would be. SGA, Canada. Luka, Slovenia. Giannis, Greece. Wemby, France. Jokic, Serbia.
It's a good 5.
Siakam, Cameroon. Kat, Dominican Republic. Şengün, Turkey. Franz Wagner, Germany. Domantas Sabonis, Lithuania. Ivica Zubac, Croatia. Jamal Murray, Canada. Do you want to hear the...
player on the bench, though, I'm just like, wouldn't even crack the top 24 in a normal All-Star setting.
Şengün, no. Wagner, no. Unless he played like he did after Paolo got hurt for an entire season, then sure.
Yeah.
Jamal, but that was... No. Jamal, no. And Zubac, no. And I love Zubac. But I have the same amount of love for Zubac as I do for...
What about Kyrie? Is he 50-50 like Embiid?
No, I think
he chooses.
I don't think
he wants to play with Australia in the Olympics.
He also couldn't. He also wouldn't be able to next year.
No, 2028. I'm talking about the Olympics. He wants to play for Australia. It's him and Embiid are like 50-50. It's stupid. They choose when they want to be international or U.S. Anyways, give me the U.S.
All right. Guard Stephen Curry.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards, the greatest of all time. Jason
Tatum.
I'm so fucking glad that you and I didn't skip a beat there. And I'm sorry for saying the F word, Dad, but, like, that was awesome. The second greatest player of all time, LeBron James. Behind Tatum. Anthony Davis, center.
There's no good U.S. center, so
Okay, so that's my exact point. Tyrese Halliburton, Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Kevin Durant, Cade Cunningham, Evan Mobley, Devin Booker. We have no height. We are going to just run.
It's just fast break 3, get back on D. Let's go.
But here's the other thing. Like, okay, remember, it's an all-star
Brunson,
game.
I like that.
Remember, it's
Brunson,
an all-star game.
Halliburton off the bench.
Doncic and Jokic won't care.
Yeah.
They won't. It's an all-star game.
Yeah, that's why I feel like they need to. So I think is it the MLB who does it? The winner of the All-Star game, the conference winner gets home field advantage.
They changed
in
it.
The finals.
They changed it.
Oh, does not happen anymore.
Not anymore, but it was, and it was the best incentive. It was
so I feel like
the best.
I also feel like if you get players, I understand it, but I feel like for NBA, I feel like there's a handful of players who sometimes, make the All-Star who probably aren't going to be in the playoffs or even have a chance of winning the finals. So do those players really try hard to try and win for their conference? Yeah. So that's why it's tough.
Here's the one thing I will say. I approach baseball the same way I approach hockey and football. If you half-ass baseball, you're going to get hurt. You have to go. There's if you're a pitcher, you have to pitch normally. If you're a hitter, you have to hit normally. Now, if you're in the field and you have a routine ground ball that's a slow roller, and David Ortiz is running down the line, then go ahead and go between the legs and throw some flare. I don't care, but play the game. Just play the game normally. If you play the game normally, then it's like nobody would bat an eye.
Yeah. Off of your Team USA real quick, you didn't mention Jaylen Brown.
I did not mention Jaylen Brown because he's not listed.
Which is crazy. So, but then off of the world team, how many players is Jaylen Brown better? Probably everyone except maybe the starting five. And I think he's better than Luka. So he's better than what?
Off
8
of this
12
season,
players you listed.
Off of this season, I think he's better than Pascal. I think he's better than Şengün. I think he's better than Wagner. I think he's better than Sabonis, Zubac, and Murray. In terms of what I know he can be, he's better than the entire bench. I don't know if I'm putting anybody. I don't think I'm putting him above anybody on the starters.
I mean, the way we saw him eat up Luka in the finals,
I'd put
Brown. I think that's the only player in the starting five. It's hard to compare him to a Wemby, a Jokic.
I would put
Jaylen
Brown in the starting five, only because I don't trust Giannis as a 3. He's a 4.
Yeah.
It's like you're SGA and Luka are your guards. Makes sense. Giannis, Wemby, and Jokic is your other 3.
But the thing about it's even if those international players, J-Dub is probably better than most of those guys on the USA or the international bench. He was All-Star this year. Okay, so it's that's another guy who's probably. Did you say Devin Booker finally? I feel like he never makes All-Star games.
Yeah, I did. But I think
Derek White.
But yeah, no, that's. But I think
there's a handful of players that probably would are going to get snubbed because
for sure
the back end of the international roster is going to be players who don't deserve to be All-Stars.
Correct. I think that's what's going to happen, and I think the other thing is because it's not USA. It's not USA committee being like, all right, we need a defender here. We need a guy. We need a Derek White. We need a Drew. We need a guy who's going to say, just give me my job, and that's all I need. I don't care about scoring.
Yeah.
Where this is going to be fan voting, it's going to be media voting, it's going to be based on just a season. It's not it's not reputation. I think which is what I think Team USA is usually.
Yeah.
Evan Mobley isn't going to be on if the Olympics was next year again. Evan Mobley wouldn't be on that team. I think he should, but he wouldn't. Because I love Evan Mobley.
A guy like Bam Adebayo, he was on Team USA.
Exactly. But he wouldn't be, because he was in 2020, he wouldn't be on the All-Star team, though, because he didn't play well. If he does, which if Bam Monte plays to the level that Bam Monte can play, in reality,
Jimmy Butler.
In reality, and this is there was a situation where I know Bam Adebayo probably could have ended up as a Boston Celtic, and obviously it's impossible now because of the extension I think he signed, but it's
it's a big deal.
He should have been him and Tatum are best friends. Every video you would see of one of them at the Olympics last year the other guy was right next to him. They're best friends. They love hanging out with each other. Bam is best friends with Deuce, and that's all you need.
Everyone's best friends with Deuce.
That's such a lie.
Well, he doesn't like Draymond.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
He doesn't like the Knicks. Yeah, exactly.
Marcus Smart he and him would have beef at times, but it was very playful.
Going back to your Olympic take, I have two questions for you about the Olympics and just Team USA. First off, I thought this isn't really a question, this is more just a take. It was funny how last summer, when Tatum wasn't getting any minutes in the finals, everyone was like, wow, Steve Kerr just gifted, the Celtics a ring. This is going to, make the Celtics, the most unstoppable team, which they did look until, all the injuries happened. But no one's talking about that Halliburton played less minutes than Tatum. And look, Halliburton's on a revenge tour this season. Look what he's done in the finals. No one's talking about that. So shout out Steve Kerr for making the Pacers who they are right now.
Nobody in NBA media cares about a good guy. It's like you got to have some fucking edge. You got to be an asshole some way. You
Like
either got to
Anthony
be
Edwards.
Yeah, you got to either like have an abortion, you got to like have a miscarriage, like you got to have like a lot of baby mamas. Like God forbid you get married to like a pop star and like have a second child and be a really good dad to the first one that you've had since you stepped in first into the league. And not only have you lived up to expectations but exceeded them, and also now you just get hate because people don't want to call you the face of the league, but you're getting treated like face of the league. And now we just have a guy who is probably the next iteration of Magic Johnson and will probably never get the... I'm not saying he's as good as Magic, but I'm saying in terms of play style he is. He's very similar. But we're talking about a player who literally was valued as the most overrated guy in the NBA, and he's just like, just wants to hoop.
If the Pacers win the finals, they need to release the names on who voted for him as the most overrated.
Like, God forbid...
I need to see that list, who voted for him as the most overrated.
I do as well, but God forbid somebody just enjoys the game of basketball. I may not be a Thunder fan. I will say I'm a J-Dub fan. Because after he lost, he was smiling one time, and they were like, what are you smiling about? He's like, get paid millions of dollars to play a game I love. What is there not to smile about? And it's a perspective on life.
Going off of that happy thing, I think it was game 3 when I texted you this during the game. There was the jump ball in the third quarter of game 3, and Siakam and J-Dub were at the top of the circle for the jump, and you could see, J-Dub was all, laughing and happy, this guy, and Siakam just gave him just a tough shoulder, a little elbow to the ribs, to the shoulder, and you could see the emotion and, face change in J-Dub instantly. And he's like, oh my God, like, we're in the finals. I feel like Siakam, like, he's been there before. He knows what it takes. Like, he's not messing around. Like, he's not going to do all this, like, laughing, happy, TikTok boy type of stuff that the Thunder are doing. Like, and that was right when that happened, I knew the Pacers were going to win that game. So I'm like,
and probably the series. I said very valid, and then you run off a line of text of Williams was all smiling and laughing. And Siakam just gave him a hard shoulder and completely changed Williams' expressions. Like, fuck, Indy not playing. OKC is too soft. TikTok era boys. Siaka has been here before. He's not laughing, not messing around. He's there to fucking go, and just giving him that hit and going at him like, oh yeah, Indy isn't effing around.
Yeah, I mean, was I wrong?
No.
I'm like, I feel like I think you're so.
I think the only thing wrong in that sentiment is arguably wins in the series, but
we'll see.
At the time, yes.
I feel like OKC though, they have expected to win every game. Like, even like we were talking about this a couple weeks back. Like, when they lost the game and they were just talking like, like, when we win, we expect to win. When we lose, like, it's just another game. Like, they are expecting to win every game. That when things get hard for them, I feel like they don't know necessarily how to turn things around.
I think
go ahead. I feel like they've been the talk of the league the whole year. They have the MVP. They are expected to win every game. That I just feel like it's all going to come, and we'll see. And I mean, the series is tied 2-2, so I don't know, but we'll see. I mean, I don't know.
I think the
Pacers have been an underdog all year.
Yeah.
I mean, they've nitty-gritty wins. They've come back from insane comebacks in fourth quarters.
They tied for the second most underdog wins in playoff history of all time. Do you want to know who was first?
Yeah, tell me.
2023 Miami Heat with 10. 10 underdog wins. The Pacers this year have 9. So if they win Game 5, I think they tie the record.
If they win the finals, they'll probably break the record. They'll probably be an underdog in every game.
Here's what I will say in terms of like I can't remember what we were really talking about specifically.
Thunder.
But yeah, I don't like a lot of the Thunder fans, not because of SGA, but because of their approach to the team. They want to be treated like an all-NBA team, then act like an all-NBA team. You want to be treated with the respect of being considered one of the greatest teams of all time? Okay. Then don't run away from the idea of then I don't want to hear anything in terms of, oh yeah, we won the finals, we're an all-NBA team, like everything like that. You were running away like the entirety of the year. Everybody who has been asking, like, are the Thunder like pressured to win a championship this year? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. You have an MVP. You have a all-NBA level caliber second player on that team. You have a player who is going to make an all-star team and arguably an all-NBA team if he didn't get hurt at the beginning of the year because he just started out so well in Chet. And somebody who I am extremely high on. You have arguably the greatest defense since the 07-08 Celtics, and arguably even better than that. You have a statistically one of the greatest defense since the 60 Celtics, led by Bill Russell. Don't come at anybody with the approach of you deserve this amount of respect when you aren't willing to deal with the consequences of when you lose or if you lose. The Thunder are an incredible team, and I'm going to talk about this team for the next couple of years to come. Like, this is a team that is very good. They're not going to be the team. They're the 23-24 Celtics, until I see otherwise, are the best team in the 2020 so far. Nobody, and I mean nobody, was beating that team in 7 games. Not a chance. And were we very lucky with the injuries that we didn't have and the injuries that other teams had at times? Absolutely. But we also didn't have Porzingis. Exactly.
Injuries
it's a part of the game.
Look at the injuries this year. I mean,
exactly. It's a part of the game.
Curry got hurt.
A Thunder fan can't sit up on a pedestal and say, haha, I'm untouchable, you're not. And the moment that they get touched, they say, no. The Celtics had it easy. Yeah, we made it look easy.
They only lost 3 games.
3 games!
In that entire finals run.
And do I even need to mention do I even need to bring up either of the game 2s? I'm literally going to bring,
yeah, so they lose game.
April 24th, 2024, the Miami Heat win 111-101. Do we want to look at the shooting splits for this one? I think so.
Yeah, let's see. Look.
Okay, let's see. Whoa! No way! Who would have thought? Man, the Miami Heat shot 23 of 43 from 3. Huh. Wow, they shot 53.5%? Yeah, that sure does sound like a win to me.
Yeah. What about game 2 against the Cavs?
Let's take a look, Jonah. Wow, funny. That was the next one I was going to look up. Game 2, 2024. Let's take a look, Jonah. Wow, much bigger difference in this one. 118-94. Dare I say, a blowout? What is this, game 4 of the finals last year? My God. You'd never believe it. Guess what they shot from 3?
22 of 46.
No, only 13 of 28, but that's still 46%.
Only 3. Wow. All right.
Celtics shot 8 of 35.
8 of okay. Bad shooting night. How many? Mitchell kind of had a game that.
Yeah, he did. He 10 of 19, 29 points, 5 of 7 from 3, 29 points, 7 boards, 8 assists. Great game.
See, that's a good stat line.
Very good stat line.
That is an amazing stat line.
Dude, what if I brought up Jason Tatum's stat line during the series? Stats from this year. Hold on. Give me a sec. Where the hell is that? Oh, I was like, where am I getting an ad from? News. I don't want to look at the news of Jason Tatum right now.
I saw a funny tweet that someone said, looks like if Abraham Lincoln listened to too much NBA Youngboy.
Oh my God. I love Chet. Just bro needs a belt.
See, I can't stand him, dude.
Bro needs a belt. That's all he needs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude went to private school and he's acting like
postseason. Hey, that's what happens when you go to school with Jalen Suggs. Kidding, I love Jalen Suggs. They went to school in Minnesota.
Yeah, him and isn't it Paige? Did Paige Buckers grow up in Minnesota?
Yeah, they were like Paige and
Jalen Suggs.
Jalen Suggs are like best friends.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like weird. They both went to like associated private schools. Like they were in that same area at least. Okay, let me see. How specific can I get with this? I can't. Okay. Yeah, no. Never mind. But wait, actually I can just pull it up now.
Jason, we know he probably had a crazy. Didn't he lead he led the team in the playoffs in points, rebounds, assists, and steals. Is that crazy? I think so.
Yeah.
that year.
Let's see. Okay, I'll just rattle off the 5 games that he played against them last year, okay?
Yeah.
18, 11, and 5. Not great. With 3 blocks.
Yeah, but 11's not bad. But okay.
7 of 19.
I know, like,
7 of 19 shooting. 7 of 19 shooting. Not great.
Okay. Who else went off that game though?
Let's take a look, because this is I think JB might have went, might have been Derek. I don't know. Let's take a look. Be sweet. Okay, there we go. Okay. JB had 32 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists on 81% true shooting. He was 12 of 18 from the field, 4 of 6 from 3.
Dude, was that the game that he started like 8 for 8?
Yeah, I think so.
What was that? What was game 2?
Derek had 25 points, 1 rebound, 5 assists on 9 of 16 shooting and 7 of 12 from 3.
7. But 18, 11, and 5 to go along with all that. That team was just so dominant, dude.
I know.
All right, give me game 2 though.
For game 2, do you just mean like JT stats?
Yeah.
Suck. Totally on my computer being okay. Game 2, 25, 7, and 6 on 41% shooting. So not bad.
Okay.
And then 33, 13, and 6 on 44% shooting in Cleveland. 33, 11, and 5 with 2 steals and a block on 44% shooting. And then closing out Cleveland, 25 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists, 4 steals on 56% shooting. I just...
Yeah. Back to one more Team USA take.
Go ahead.
Do you think in 2028, because we saw last year how they had too many stars, not everybody could play. Do you think in 2028 they get like 7 to 8 stars and then like, you know,
Derek White,
3 to 5, but like 3 to 5 like true like role players to build more of a team versus just like the 12 best players? Because in a 40-minute game, not everyone can play, as we saw. So I'm like, do you think they try and get players who are like fine with being good solid role players to like fit, you know, a system a little bit better, or do you think they just, you know, we're gonna go out and get the 12 best players again? And someone's not going to play.
I think they're unfortunately going to do that. But what I think they need to do is they need to approach of who they select. They need to change that. Like, just have it be like Joel Embiid was non-existent at times. Like, he clearly was playing the NBA game when it was FIBA. I think with those teams, you kind of have to have like the versatility. You got to like have something that makes you different. And I think that's where a player like Bam comes in. Yeah. I think that's where a player like Evan Mobley comes in and Chet Holmgren comes in, where it's like, hey, sure, we're these tall guys, but it's like we can switch 1 through 5. Derek White comes in.
Yeah, they don't need to get 20 shots a game.
Exactly. And it's
but
like
they can still make up, you know, a presence, rebounding, or blocking shots.
Yeah, it's like, and then it's like if you have like a Jalen Brunson and Anthony Edwards, like a Tatum, then it's like okay, that works, because then you have like
I don't think
because
it's gonna be a whole new roster.
You can't have like what I'm more so trying to approach with is you can't have 5 guys on the court every time who are primary guys.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have like if like even like I would not have an issue if J-Dub made an USA team. Because he understands what it takes to like be that second guy.
Yeah.
But he's also knows like, hey, I can be the first guy if I need to. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see who they select.
Yeah. I mean, there was a post yesterday or a couple of days ago, and it was like leave your team down below, like leave a question down below, like about NBA draft related, and I will give you my opinion. And so I throw my name in the hat, obviously. I say, he said, ask me prospect, this guy named Ben Pfeiffer. He has like a good amount of followers on Twitter. He said, ask me prospect or NBA or any other questions while I sit on this train. I said, any idea on who the Celtics would go after in the first round? And he said, I like them going after one of the bigs like Janai Broom or Ryan Cockbrenner if they don't retain Luke Cornett. If the Boston Celtics get Ryan Cockbrenner, I am all back in on the Celtics winning the NBA championship in the 26-27 season.
Yeah.
And I'm genuinely serious. We're talking about a guy who is an elite screen and roll guy who is 7'2" and who was a all-time defender. One of the few clips of him being posterized, do you want to know who postered him?
Who?
Cade Cunningham. Do you want to know who was also in that video? I think Scotty Barnes.
Scotty Barnes.
Because they played on the same AAU team together, the Knight Riders, and that's what got Scotty Barnes to go to Montverde.
Scotty Barnes is a character.
Shout out my autistic brother. All right, not a ton of time left probably, but do you want to dive into a little bit of the Stanley Cup?
Yeah, we can touch on it. I mean, dude, because we talked after game 1, crazy overtime win by Edmonton.
And then after you talk Stanley Cup, I have one thing I do want to talk about.
Okay, yeah. Game 2, Florida dominated.
Florida dominated.
No.
Game 2, Brad Marchand overtime winner.
It went another double OT.
Yeah. Game 3, Florida dominated. Game 4.
Dude, did you catch any game 4?
That was crazy.
They were down. Florida
goes up 3-0.
Edmonton come back.
Take the lead. 20
gosh.
seconds left. Sam Bennett, boom. And then Leon Draisaitl.
Dude, I think he could win the what do they call it?
He didn't.
No, he's going. No,
he didn't.
They haven't. No. I'm not talking about that.
The Conn Smythe.
Yeah.
Playoff.
I feel
MVP.
I feel like he's got handful of goals. He's got 2 game winners in the finals.
It will probably be him. Yeah. That's what it was last year. Was McDavid won.
But speaking of the Hart Award, do you remember my take from 2-3 weeks ago?
I'm aware.
Yeah.
I'm aware.
My boy, Connor Hellebuyck, MVP.
I think
he's
and the Nets, one of four.
One of 4 to win the double.
Carey, him, and I can't remember the other 2.
But hey, shout out Hellebuyck.
Hellebuyck.
What the hell?
I'm very excited for Game 5.
Yeah, is that tonight?
I'm checking. I don't think so. No, because they're traveling back to Alberta.
So we have a weekend. I hate this. We had Thursday night NHL, Friday night NBA, and then Saturday we have nothing to do on a Saturday night. What the hell are we gonna do?
That's on me.
On a Saturday?
It's on
or
me.
Sunday?
That's on me. Time out. That's on me. Game 5 is tonight. We don't have anything tomorrow, but we will have Sunday Night Baseball.
That's okay. I'm going to a concert tomorrow.
Who are you going to see?
Post Malone. That'll be fun.
Where are you going?
It's at Mile High.
Really?
Yeah, dude. He's doing a stadium tour. It's kind of sick.
That'll be sick.
He was just at Gillette a couple weeks back.
I had a family friend. My mom got dinner with some family friend of ours, and one of our very close family friends. My friend Peter, his parents, my mom saw them on Thursday night. They were flying out Friday morning for a Friday night concert at Red Rocks.
That's cool.
And I was like, who the hell are they? It was James Taylor. And I was like, all right, never mind. That makes sense. I was like, I would actually do the same thing. My final thing. This is a recommendation for anybody. If you know me, I got a lot of random interests in the world. Obviously, the NBA is my primary. WWE is one of them. But something that has become one of my big interests, and it has been for the past couple of years, but it's just, I don't do it. So it's kind of hard for me to talk about rock climbing and soloing and just impressive feats of climb. So this week I watched 3 different documentaries. The Dawn Wall, Free Solo, which everybody knows, and then The Alpinist. If you need something to do this weekend or this week, because it's going to be released on Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to everybody, by the way. All the dads out there. Shout out Peter.
Shout out Mike.
Exactly. If you need something to do, watch those 3 documentaries. Jonah, I will send you a link to the Dawn Wall one.
Yeah.
So for reference, the Free Solo and the Dawn Wall are the same mountain or same rock fixture. It's El Cap in Yosemite. It's that big fat rock. If you look up Yosemite National Park, El Capitan, it's right there. The Dawn Wall is the first thing that hits light on Yosemite. It's basically the sun hits this wall and then it's basically the showing of dawn. That's why it's called the Dawn Wall. It's basically a vertical flat wall that this guy named Tommy Caldwell and his friend and his partner Kevin Jurgensen, they climbed it together, and they were the first people ever to free climb it. So with a rope and chalk and everything, with enough time to practice everything and go through the entire route. Alex Honnold is known Free Solo is famous because it is free soloing El Cap. That's just a freak show. No rope, nothing, just him and chalk. But the Alpinist is probably the craziest one. Shout out Marc-Andre Leclerc, a Canadian guy who started out extremely antisocial, but what he does is mixed climbing. So he'll do ice climbing and free soloing, and that guy is a freak. So all 3 of those documentaries, give those a watch. My favorite is the Dawn Wall, but rock climbing. Just some weirdos out there.
Last take for you. We kind of were talking about this a little bit earlier, but I want to get your opinion or just, your take. If you had to get rid of, you can only keep 3 of the following sports. The rest of them are gone forever. You can't ever watch them. You can only watch 3 of these sports, and I'm gonna name you all the sports, and I want to get your take on which ones you'd keep, which ones you get rid of. We have NBA, NHL, MLB, NFL. We have the big 4.
Hold on, I need to write these out. So NBA.
Okay. I can text them to you too.
I got it. NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL.
Yeah, big 4. Then we got college football. We got March Madness. Then we got Premier League, F1, and UFC. What 3 are you keeping? What are you getting rid of forever?
So I'll start with the ones that I know I'm not going to keep.
I think we're going to have similar.
Unfortunately, NHL.
Yeah.
Unfortunate, and I know this will hurt you, but Premier League for me, no. And F1, not really. I will follow it, but this is an extremely hot take. NFL, no.
Okay. We're going to have completely different ones.
Yeah. Because I'm going to have one that I know you delete instantly, but we won't say what it is just yet.
Yeah. I think there's a handful I feel like I'm going to delete immediately. But I think there's one major one that I just don't care about.
Okay. I have my 3.
So what are you down to after you're picking between NBA, MLB, college football, college basketball? Is that your 4?
NBA, MLB, college football, March Madness, UFC are my 5.
Okay, you got to narrow that down.
I'm getting down to 3.
Okay.
I'm erasing UFC, and I'm erasing March Madness.
Okay, so you're keeping
NBA, MLB, college football, and I'll explain why. But I want to hear your 3 first.
Okay. I am off the bat. First one I'm deleting. College football. I don't like college football.
That's fair.
I've never been a college football fan. I can live without college football. My Saturdays do not consist of watching College Game Day. I don't care about college football. I watched a little bit last year because it was fun to watch.
Being in Colorado, it makes sense.
It was fun. I went to a handful of CU games.
You're gonna have to go to a couple more this year because they have the number one, like one of the number one.
I don't care.
Okay.
I'm done. I'm done with college football. I could care less. I could care less about college football. I'll probably root for a random team. I'll hop on.
Join my BC. Join the BC bandwagon.
See, that's the part. I wouldn't even consider it a bandwagon, but
wait,
like 2 years ago or
Notre
3
Dame.
years ago, I went to a Notre Dame football game in South Bend. I went to Notre Dame versus Clemson, and it was the coolest thing ever. I'm like, hey, Notre Dame's pretty cool, so I'll root for Notre Dame a little bit.
Do you know that AJ is one of AJ's best friends works for Notre Dame football? His name's Kurt Rawlings. Shout Kurt, grad assistant, but I think he's like the assistant quarterbacks coach.
Oh, that's sick.
So, yeah.
Well, I'll probably I'll be watching Notre Dame a little bit, but
that's fair.
I don't have any. I'm not emotionally attached to.
You'll
any team.
check in every once in a while.
Yeah, like if I have nothing to do and Notre Dame's playing, I'll watch it. Other than that, I don't really care. So. For me, college football, first one gone. Next 2, I'd probably get rid of F1 just because I don't really watch it. It's cool, but it's always on at the worst hours, so like I'm
not
really
getting
care.
up at 4 a.m. to watch F1.
Yeah. Next, I'd probably get rid of UFC. It's fun. Did you watch any of the Sean O'Malley fight last week?
I was. Yeah. Marab is just a freak.
Yeah.
He's just. It's like you have to knock him out, but you can't.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kayla Harrison was just unreal.
Yeah.
That was insane. I'm excited for the Pena versus Harrison fight, but I'm excited for 316. Or was 316 just happened? 317.
Yeah, that was
317.
Yeah.
I'm really excited because that's Taporia and Da Bronx. So
I think the next one I get rid of probably.
I think I like
college basketball. I don't mind it.
Whoa.
Like again, for me personally, I prefer professional sports to college sports. I feel like the game is getting ruined with the NIL money and the college sports. 10 years ago, I love college basketball. I just feel like it's completely changed. Same with college football. I don't find it as enjoyable as pro sports. I like watching the professionals play versus, student athletes. No, shout out to them for doing both.
Hey,
but for me, I don't like watching as much.
You can say that because you were a student athlete.
Yeah.
You played played college basketball.
Yeah.
Like And you did it on a level of where you love the game. It wasn't like I'm getting a check. You went to Lake Forest College. I'm not saying like Lake Forest is a bad school, but I'll be completely honest. If you didn't go to Lake Forest, I wouldn't have guessed that there was a college called Lake Forest. You played.
Everyone thought I went.
Wake, exactly. Because that was my first reaction. I said, "Did you spell Wake wrong or something?" And I was like,
everyone always says like I played basketball at Lake Forest. Like, you played ACC basketball at Wake Forest? I'm like, sure.
That was. I'll be honest. I was like, I knew
Chris
Jonah.
Paul recruited me.
I knew Jonah was good, but I was like, I didn't know Jonah was ACC level good.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, so am I like Mountain West level good? Like, how good am I?
But yeah, I mean, no knock to that, but I like watching professional better than college.
March Madness, college football, F1, UFC. So you have the Big Four, and what remaining?
And Premier League.
Okay.
So I think the next one I'm getting rid of is probably, this is tough because if I'm going in order, there are two sports I'm trying to get into more, but I could still live without. I'd probably get rid of baseball.
Shocked it lasted this long, and I'm hyped it did. Honestly,
I'm trying to get more into baseball.
And
there's just so many games. And
that's
it's just,
the tough part. You gotta just go to a couple. Like even if it is like what I would consider or what I would recommend for you is don't go to Rockies games for Rockies, obviously.
Dude, I don't first off, I never go to Rockies games for the Rockies.
Go to the Reds.
No one does.
If the Red Sox are going to be there, go to a Red Sox game.
I was sick the last time. Dude, the Red Sox only come like once every 4 years.
I know.
I was sick last year, but I'm going to try and go. I think the Dodgers are coming at some point.
If the Dodgers come, go see them.
I'm going when the Cubs come. I'm going to go when the Cubs come. So I'm definitely going to go to a couple. You just gotta find a couple players, and you're like, I like them. Yeah. So, but I'm trying to get more into baseball because it. Shout out my old college roommate Adam. He gave me his MLB TV login, so I can now watch MLB games for free.
Hell yeah!
Shout out! I can start watching some more
You're gonna
baseball.
You're gonna learn about the blackouts. That sucks.
Dude, I live in Denver. We can't even watch the Nuggets. Yeah. Or the Avs. So I'm used to it.
Well, that is purely just regional TV. They're expecting you to have regional packages at that point. But it's more so when you're so I go to Iowa every year. You can put in you can go on to there's a blackout thing. It's if you put in your zip code, these are the teams that I put in the where we go in Iowa zip code. There's 7 teams. And it's Brewers, both Chicago, Cincy, Cleveland. It's
random though.
It's why are all the the Midwest teams being taken out?
Yeah.
All I can watch right now is the Twins.
So
I watched a Chicago White Sox win live on TV last year.
That was rare.
Exactly. My point. I saw them I was a witness to them stopping a 20-game losing streak.
That's amazing.
It was awesome. History. I didn't know it. And then I got
4 left. I have NBA, NFL, Premier League, and NHL.
Can I guess?
It's pretty cut and dry.
I think I know, but go ahead.
I mean, obviously, if I had to pick the first one, if I can only keep one of these last 4.
I know. If I could keep one, I already know what I'm picking.
If you could only pick, what would you pick if you were just
the
one?
NBA?
Yeah, I'm torn between the NBA and Premier League.
That's fair.
So those two are definitely locks for me. If I could only choose 2, it'd be Premier League and NBA. I feel like those are the 2 sports I follow the most. And then I'm cutting hockey. I'm trying to get into it more, but no, there's nothing really beats a Sunday Night Football. That theme song, man. I mean,
that's fair.
So I would probably keep Premier League, NFL, and NBA.
So I will go into the reasoning of mine. F1 is the same thing. I just don't watch it enough.
Yeah.
UFC I'm kind of still new into. I've been watching for the last couple of years, but it's
yeah, me too.
I more so am just I really I don't find it nearly as exciting, and I don't have a true understanding of a lot of it unless I see a knockout or a submission. And what I mean by that primarily is I remember there was a fight where somebody was doing I think Israel Adesanya was facing Pereira, and I think it was the third one or something, and Izzy kept doing these leg kicks, and I was he's barely doing anything. And I was talking to somebody, and they were actually, he's doing a detrimental amount of damage to his leg. And I was okay, wouldn't have guessed. March Madness I love, but I think a lot of it is luck and storyline based, not actual gameplay based. I thought the national championship this year was great. I think
I don't think I watched it.
I watched 10 minutes of it. The first 2 weekends, the first weekend is great.
Who'd they even play? I don't even remember, to be honest.
It was Houston, Florida.
That's right.
And then it was Duke and Auburn were the other 2 Final Four teams. So
I did pick the correct winner in March Madness.
I didn't.
I did. I didn't watch any games, and I got Florida right. So
There you
let's
go.
go.
I picked
Go
Duke.
Gators, baby.
I picked Duke. So no to either of those. NFL
See, Did you?
is kind of my shocking one.
I was shocked you got rid of NFL.
I'm almost choosing, one of the reasons why I'm choosing college football over NFL is something the NFL chose to do. I'd rather hang out on a Saturday than a Sunday.
Yeah, but there's just something about.
Oh, I'm aware. But
that
there's
zone.
there for sure. But there is something about being able to throw on the quad box on YouTube TV and never having the same 4 options.
But I don't care about watching Troy versus Tulane.
I'm not saying Troy
10 a.m. on a Saturday.
I'm not saying Troy versus Tulane, but what I am saying is when you get to the 1 o'clock slate and we got a big noon kickoff where it's Penn State, Ohio State, and then you got
that's where I think the Big Ten's so overrated, dude, in football.
I think so too. But if I see a quad box matchup and I see 4 games and each of them have a ranked team, I'm watching it. I don't care.
I don't know, dude. I just can't get behind. I've never gotten behind college football.
I don't have an issue with that. It's more so just I think I would rather watch it.
No, I get it.
Saturday for me. Like that is more of a reason than why. Yeah. It's like
I just feel like Sunday's such a lazy day. I don't mind sitting on the couch watching football. Have my fantasy team up on my phone.
I mean that's fair, but it's
Red
also
zone. You're getting every single scoring play.
Here's the aspect. It's like after Sunday Night Football, you have to go fark. I have to go back to work. After you could stay up till 1 a.m. and watch the Hawaii game.
I'm not watching Hawaii versus Boise State. I don't care.
I went to Washington.
Like the play. The style plays better.
That's fair. I think I just like the speed of which college can go.
Yeah, I like how they're professionals in the NFL. That's their only job, and I just feel like the style, the physicality, and just the overall. That's why I like NBA to college basketball. I just feel like the style of play, it's just better.
College basketball is embarrassing compared to the NBA.
But then I feel like it's similar in college football to the pros. I don't know. I just prefer it better.
That's completely fair.
I just think it's better. I don't know. That's just me. And I think it's fun. I mean, here the game started at 11. Yeah. I can have my morning, watch the morning slate, and then kick it off on
I forgot
Fox Sunday and watch the Broncos.
I was like, why are you bringing up Troy at 10 a.m.? I was like, they don't start until noon. I was like, 2 hour time difference.
we got the early.
Very jealous.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I'll watch if I have nothing to do, I'll tune into the Saturday night college football game. I don't really care.
But the tough part is you have nothing to do
on Saturday.
No, but no. What I'm more so saying, it's like you're choosing to do it more so on the. I have nothing. It's like I guess.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I've just never enjoyed it. But hey, no hate.
No hate.
I get it.
No to NFL, no to UFC, no to F1, no to Premier League. I don't think that's shocking. So far.
We'll get there. It'll hit your top 3 some point.
We'll revise the list. NHL, just same thing where I just haven't had.
I'm trying to get more into it.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
I only watched the 3rd period of the game the other night. It's
arguably the best sport video game.
I've never
to play with friends. Like if you have like a group of friends and you're like, hey, I want to rip a Chell tournament. There is like
2K though.
For sure. No, but 2K is fallen off the map, I'd say. Here's the thing. My friend at school had a Xbox One and he had 2K21 downloaded and it was kind of more that arcade style still a little bit. If you got something like that, go ahead. That's the most fun you can have. And just running
2K
all NBA teams. 2K19 with me with Giannis on the cover.
I think I had the one with Kyrie on the 6.
Yeah. I had 16, I had 17, I took 18 off, and then I had 19.
Wasn't Tatum on the cover
25
last year's?
Yeah,
this coming year?
Yeah, no, current.
The curse, dude.
I'm aware. I'm aware.
I forgot about that. Fuck.
I'm aware.
I need Jalen Brunson on the cover this year.
I need
or SGA.
Because then I can kill him. I'm kidding. To the CIA member out there.
But talking about video games real quick, I don't like college football, but playing college football 25, that's a fun game.
Whole lot of fun.
That's a fun game.
Whole lot of fun.
Because all I did was play as Colorado, and I just throw it deep to Travis on every time. It was amazing, but
so
that's a fun game. That's
F1, UFC.
I think you're down
Premier
to NBA.
League.
I think you gave it. You said you kept college football.
Kept college football.
You're down to NBA.
I'm more so just trying to see if I went through everything and why I didn't want to keep it. Okay.
Yeah, so now you're down to
Football
your other
for me
two.
is Saturday, the play style, the amount of games that there are. I also just think it's just the weird connection that I have with Boston College, and it's just like, oh, like I have a team that isn't really that good that I root for, and it's like I'm kind of like a legitimate fan.
Yeah, I get it. If you have a team, I totally understand.
For sure.
I went to a D3 college. I didn't have the big D1 like fan, and like
even
just growing with Colorado when I was a kid. Colorado,
not good.
University was terrible. So no one cared. So I didn't really ever grow up with a team. So I just never got into college football.
If it wasn't for my dad or my brother playing college football, I wouldn't have had a team either.
That makes sense.
But yeah.
So they got NBA and MLB left.
The two sports I played the most. MLB is like, I don't think there is a better social sport than the MLB. And here is why. I think there are better social sports to watch at home. I think football is the best social sport to watch at home because of just how much time happens in between plays. But at a event, MLB is the best. Best weather. It's going to be nighttime. It's going to be like atmosphere-wise.
I like going to baseball games.
For sure.
And I'm trying to get watching it more on TV, but if I go, it's fun.
And that's why it's like a big part of it for me. I don't think there is a better sporting event to watch in person. Maybe hockey, but then MLB. Because it's like, if you go with like a group of 3 or 4 people, you can kind of cycle through on how you guys are going to just hang out with one another. You can go to different locations. Most ballparks have bars in them. So you can go get a drink, you can get food. And also it's like, if you don't catch the pitch every time, it's not like every single time a home run is going to get hit. If you hear the home run, you're going to react. So, and also it's just like, for somebody that played baseball, it's like being able to, and then NBA, it's like.
I love the NBA. That's the sport where I'll watch, even if it's a random team, like I'll tune in. I
was in Florida watching, it was Thursday night football. It was Sunday. It was Sunday. It was the Sunday before Christmas. The New England Patriots were facing the Buffalo Bills, and the Patriots lost this game. It was in Buffalo. But I think we were watching like the afternoon slate, or maybe, but it didn't really matter. I had my phone open on the Fubo app because my dad had NBA League Pass through there, and he was like, hey, I got it for the year. I was watching a Rockets versus Raptors game while the NFL was going. I was watching Jalen Green and Alperen Şengün versus Scotty Barnes face off in Toronto.
Well, dude, even just the storyline there, dude, Van Vliet versus old team. Come on.
Hey, you have more reason. You had a better reason of like why I was watching it. I was watching it at like a table with AJ, and AJ goes, "What are you doing?"
Dude, League Pass.
I go, dude, I have a pod to record tomorrow. Like,
I gotta tune into this Raptors.
Bro, I'm gonna have to talk
night
about it. I need something to talk about. But I mean, it like sports are sports.
Yeah, they're all different.
Exactly. But
we need to get you into soccer, though, dude. We need to start getting you to pick a team. You got at least. We need to narrow it down. We need to start doing some research.
Yeah, I got to figure it out. I gotta choose a team who I'm gonna root for. Well, okay. I think my mom did just go to Paris, and she did give me a sticker.
That's tough. You could become a PSG, but they're a French league. I don't know.
I know, but
you're guaranteed
also
to win every year.
But then it's also like, oh, Connor's a front runner. It's like, got me.
They did just win the quad.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh no, I got time.
Cool.
I got time.
You need to pick a Premier League team. Then we can talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll talk about it regardless when the season starts, but you can chime in on.
No, I know, and I got to be like a team where I'm like, all right, I can watch highlights or something. Got a player.
And for you though, being on the East Coast, the games for you start at like earliest 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Normal time would be 10. For me, dude, if Man City's playing the earliest late, I'm waking up at 5:30.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which I will do. I will wake up at 5:30 to watch a soccer game.
Yeah.
I don't care. I think it's great.
But hey,
that's fair.
That's why we're co-hosts. I mean, I think like the moment I knew that I probably should have got you on the pod like earlier, and I know you can put yourself exactly back in this moment when you and I were texting during the LA Clippers Celtics game that went to OT this year, and then you just text me and you go, "Are you still up?" And I went, "Yeah." Because it was a 10 o'clock start, and that shit went into OT.
Yeah, it was like 2 a.m.
It was 2 a.m., and I watched a Celtics nail-biter. I want to see if I have the text from that.
I think they won. Didn't they win that?
They won that, because then the next day, they got blown out on a back-to-back against the Lakers.
Wasn't that Christmas Day?
That was it was let me see.
Dude, I thought they played the Lakers on Christmas.
No, they played the Sixers on Christmas this year.
I do remember that. They got, yeah. Are you sure?
Yes.
I thought it was Lakers. Was that 2 years ago?
Lakers played the Warriors.
This year?
Yes, it was last year. Last year they played the Clippers.
I didn't watch. I was out of the country for that day, so I didn't watch any NBA.
I just got to the part on the text where you said I just ran into Derek White.
Dude, yeah, dude, shout out Derek White, dude.
What
a nice guy.
Did I ever tell you the time I met him?
No, I saw him, dude. I've seen him twice in the last. Well, I ran into him in February. I saw him twice in 6 months in Colorado, which is funny because he plays, in Boston. I saw him at the BMW Championship, the golf tournament. I saw him walking around. I was like, Derek, like it was so funny.
Yeah,
Knuckles
yeah.
there. And then I ran into him at a restaurant during All-Star Weekend. It was the day he got his jersey retired up at Colorado. And I was like, "It's my guy. It's my guy, Derek White."
It was.
I love it.
I was at a Boston College versus Miami game. Literally, Merry Christmas, bro. Merry Christmas, Brody. Bro, I hate the 76ers. That's what I said on Christmas Day. Wait, hold on. I'm just going to look up when they played. Clippers.
Get that for you.
No, I got it. January 22nd. Okay, I scrolled too far. Because then I can also pull up the conversation I had with my boy Ben the night that they played the Lakers.
What a stat line from this game. Tatum 24, 7 and 8. Eric White 26 and 4. Brown 25, 2 and 6. Mias Queta had 11. Bowser had 15.
I found it. We were texting at 12:08 a.m. my time.
For you? Okay. That's pretty late.
Because this was the Jaden Springer game.
I'm watching the highlights right now.
Always a big game during the season at LA. Lamau, 1 a.m. there. OT does not help you. And I said, bro, I am dying right now. I'm fading.
I remember texting you that. Like, I didn't miss a Celtics game this year.
I don't think I really did. I mean, I think there were like a couple that I just couldn't.
Even if I was at a dinner, because I had League Pass, I was watching that shit on my phone.
I would I had the real app.
Oh, dude, I was watching.
I remember where I was. I remember where I was when JT hit that game winner against the Pelicans. I was at a rehearsal dinner for my cousin.
That was a cold game winner.
For my cousin Nick's wedding, I was at the Omaha Aquarium watching it with AJ and my cousin-in-law Greg.
Okay. First off, this game, the Celtics were up 96-89 with 4.5 left in the fourth.
Oh, I'm aware. And then Jaylen Brown had that turnover.
I know. I'm watching the highlights right now.
Yeah, and then
because that was the game where was it
then you reply like after you and I not texting for a couple minutes, you just reply with this.
What did I say? Ah, yeah, that was you.
My reply. Do you want to hear what my reply was?
Good night.
Thank fuck. And then literally the next text I received from you was at 11:06 that same day, 11:06 p.m. So that later that night. We sucked tonight. Last night took everything out of us. And I said, dude, I don't know if I'm going to make it. I'm fading already.
We were up 103-99 with 15 seconds left in this game. Went to OT. Who was their guard? Number 7? He went off that
Amir
game.
Coffey?
Yes, dude. Yeah. He had a career game that day.
Amir Coffey, Kevin Porter Jr., and Derek Jones Jr.
Yeah, then Jaylen Brown had that turnover.
Yep.
Coffey
Derek Jones Jr. comes down, gets the tough layup at the other end.
I don't think Kawhi was playing. I don't think Harden was playing.
This Kawhi, was Zubac, Powell, Harden, Batum, they all didn't play.
It's like one of those games where like the Celtics should win this game by 30, and of course it goes to overtime. Yeah. It's just like,
and I think it's like the only one we were without was Drew and Al because we were resting.
I don't think Porzingis was playing either.
No, he didn't. We had.
I think Hauser started.
Yeah, we had JB, JT, and Derek.
Then Derek clutch 3 in OT.
I know.
First bucket. Then JT's getting the ball up top. Dude, this is. I need to just. Oh, JT 3-pointer splash.
Yeah, I'm looking at the text. I like how it got to the point where we knew we were going to lose to the Lakers. That you and I just sent pictures to each other, and just was like this is what you sent me.
Yeah,
that's no Larry, no Bill, no Bird, and then it was like, and I said most Larrys in the league. Oh, them boys in Boston, not the losers in LA. But let me see what my friend Ben texted me that night.
You know, we hit 3 straight threes to start that OT.
Yeah, I remember.
Derek, JT, then JB. Yeah, dude, Coffee was going off that game.
The more and more I think about it, the more and more I'm like, I want JB.
I keep seeing rumors that they might swap. Obviously, it's just rumors, but they might swap JB for Giannis and like 3 first-round picks.
I texted Ben. This is literally me when I'm about to go to bed. GG's, I'm too tired to watch this game, because he's a Lakers fan for reference. And he said,
"Why are you friends with him?"
Ben's a chiller. You would like. So, for reference, Ben and I were roommates when I was in Italy.
Okay.
Like, he and I directly shared a room. It was in the apartment. It was me, him, and our friend John. And Ben was the first one I met, and I found out that he and I were roommates, and I was like, all right. And I remember, like, within 30 seconds of us meeting, I was like, you like sports? And he's like, yeah, I'm a big NBA guy. I go, we're going to get along just fine.
Uh-oh.
He was the one that woke me up when Marcus Smart got traded.
Really?
So
that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. 2 years ago that happened. I know, it's crazy. So he was the one that broke that with me. I think we were together when Bradley Beal got traded to the Suns.
What a terrible dude.
So he and I like went through it together.
That's hilarious.
I think we're at the time though.
Yeah, you got
44. Oh my god.
This has been a good episode.
It's been a good episode.
Considering there's not that many sports on, we
I know.
Talk about sports.
Like, we legitimately, for next episode, we might be talking about NBA champion.
Yeah.
I think
it goes 7.
I think so too.
Dude,
I think in terms of what people can look forward for the next couple episodes, I think like next week will be probably finals recap talk, because actually it will be. Because I think the last game would be played on Friday of next week, I think.
No, it's Monday. Is it Monday, Wednesday, Friday?
You're right. It's let me check.
Monday, Thursday, Sunday. I'm out of town next weekend.
That's fine.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We have time.
We could our next pod, we could have an NBA champion. We could have an NHL champion. We'd be through the group stage of FIFA Club World Cup.
And then after that, we'd have pre-draft, and then also NBA. After that, it would probably be post-draft talk, our draft winners. We could also give grades, and then we could also do like who coming up is going to be like the big free agents and where we think they'll go. But
to start prepping our NFL.
I know.
For the best team for Hard Knocks, as we learned last week, the Buffalo Bills. Who would have thought? But
no, the very excited things coming up.
Got a random player to end us with today? I have a good one.
Who do you got?
Nene.
Hell yeah! Oh my god, Nene, what a guy. Those like late 2000s Nuggets teams were a lot of fun.
Yeah.
My random player, RJ Hunter. Celtic legend. RJ Hunter. Jonah, any final words of wisdom for the beautiful folks at home?
I'm going for you. Go Cubs, go, baby.
Go Cubs, go. Boston Red Sox 2025.
Dude, Cubs are great. They're playing right now.
Boston Red Sox 2025 World Series champions. You heard it here first.
I think the Cubs could tear. Dude, PCA's been tearing it up this year.
PCA is unreal. Love PCA. Love Kyle Tucker.
I've been trying to follow along.
Get Kyle Tucker a full-time extension. That's all that matters. All right, everybody.
Yes,
my name is Connor Ryan.
Jonah Newberger here.
Thank you for listening to Triple Threat Talk. We will see you all next week with another episode. Pacers in 7.
I like that. Edmonton in 7.
We will see you all next week for another episode. Peace out.